So there are three things that Abraham Maslow, if we take that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we boil it down to three things, what we come up with is the fact that people are actually looking for significance, they're looking for belonging, and they're looking for a sense of safety. And so if we understand that about people, what that offers us is a method or a way of understanding not only their motivations, but also explanations for how to help them resolve any conflicts with their external view and their internal view. And so if we understand that these three principles as methods for helping people achieve their goals, it increases our ability to help them be effective in achieving organizational goals and objectives. And so when we talk about this sense of significance, one thing that we know for sure is that all human beings have been born with a purpose. When I was growing up, the American Youth Foundation really did a wonderful job of helping us to instill this one principle. And the principle can be summed up in the motto that is used by the American Youth Foundation, which is, one enkindled spirit can set hundreds on fire, and my own self at my very best all the time. My own self at my very best all the time. And what was meant by that motto was, I am a person with purpose and power, committed to understanding my own power, but also effectively working with others to increase their power. So ultimately, the sense of significance comes from unleashing, understanding your own personal power, but also the ability to increase or empower or help people release their own power. And so my own self at my very best all the time did a really good job of capsulizing that. At my very best, when we talk about this sense of significance, what we're talking about is this idea that I am not trying to emulate, be like, copy, replicate someone else's way of being, because I have my own responsibilities and my own ways of being that I need to explore. And so when we talk about this sense of significance and we talk about being my own self, I have to recognize what my limitations are, what my contributions are, and I need to be able to produce products, produce fruit, if you will, that signify the fact that I have significance. And so when we're working with students, when we're working with employees, this sense of significance becomes important because it allows us to understand the need for people to produce some type of fruit so that they can be successful. So if I have a student who has always considered themselves to be a failure, failure will be their default worldview. Failure will be their default way of thinking. And so as a teacher, it behooves me to make sure that I'm creating opportunities for a student to be successful. When we talk about the sense of significance, it's important that as I'm working with an employee, that if they have shortcomings, if they have failed in any kind of way, if they've made mistakes, that I figure out ways that they can A, make it right, and B, how I can empower them so that they can be a producer and not a person who is taking away from the organization. And so this sense of significance becomes probably, pretty paramount, that people understand that they can make things themselves. They can make the changes they need in their life. They can be producers of product, of results that in fact will increase their ability to be effective in the workplace or in the classroom. And so the sense of significance is extremely important. My own self at my very best all the time. The third part of that motto that I got from the American Youth Foundation in my teens was all the time. And so in a variety of situations, if I understand that I have significance, that I have purpose, that I have power, that I have the ability to to create, then I don't succumb to the pressures that are outside of me. I don't succumb to the challenges that I'm often faced with when trying to exert my power or my leadership. What I come to understand is that as a person with power, it does not matter what situation I'm in, my values, my moral standing, the ways that I make decisions will not be affected by the situations that I'm in, but will be determined by the mindset that I have. And so when I'm a person who understands my significance, my environment does not impact greatly how I respond, act to, and the worldviews that I have. And so as we engage our employees, as we engage our students in understanding what their significance is, then we're able to actually help them move in a positive direction given whatever adversities come their way, whatever activities they choose to be a part of, and whatever environments that they find themselves in. Because a lot of times it doesn't feel like we can change our environments when in fact we can. And that it is the sense of significance that offers us the opportunity to be impactful given whatever situation that we find ourselves in.